Hi guys, what's up? Ryan here. So today's video is kind of like a 3-in-1, 4-in-1, 5-in-1 video. I want to film me using my spray booth for the first time since I cleaned it. Have a look at that video. Hopefully it's up by now by the time I've posted this. I worked out how much overspray I actually wasted over 40 months, 3.5 years. I work out how much weight in overspray I scooped up and bagged up, how many bags I actually filled up, and how much kilos, and then I equated that to how much paint I wasted by working out the paint prices, etc., etc. And it's quite a good one to see and find out how much overspray you do waste, even though I've got quite an efficient spray booth with these two powerful fans. So go ahead and watch that. But yeah, it's nice and clean and tidy. Firstly, I've got a whole ton of spraying to do. I wanted to just get a bit of filming done. I want to show you what paint I use. I want you to see the spray booth being used for the first time, how it lands on the floor, how the overspray hits and gets sucked into the fans. You can see the patterns probably on the plastic to see how the fans work. Yeah, and I'll throw in a few other things at the same time. Stay tuned, watch to the end. So if you are new to the channel, thank you for clicking. If you're not, thank you for coming back. I'll quickly give you a little overview, just in case you're brand new to the channel. Here's the spray room side. We've got a bit of material stored over there because we don't have any space in the workshop for sheet material, but the rest is drying racks, and we've got our little booth here, and in the corner we've got our little hobby zone there, which gets covered over when I'm spraying. And then we've got sprayers over here, two airless sprayers, 695, 595, grey coat, airless. And we've got a little bit of storage there for sheet material because it's the only place to put it. And then we've got a bit more space here. And if we go through here, this is the workshop side. And we've got a little CNC here. Materials stored there for the moment. Our ultimate workbench, nice, clean and tidy. Got a few jobs dotted around, as you can see. We've got a little sanding and hobby kind of area there for cleaning up pieces that we make on the CNC. Rack over here. Yeah. If you want to have a look further into the workshop, then click on one of these tours. What we're doing today is we're spraying. I say the royal we, I'm spraying. Got lots here. All of this has been primed and sanded back. We've got 2 or 3 jobs here, I believe. We've probably got about 60 or 70 components. And then we've got shaker style doors. We've got drawers, a few pieces here and here, sides and tops and bottoms. Got more drawers. We've got more sides, and then we've got backings, and then I just showed you around there we've got a couple of shaker style doors on the workbench, and then we've got 3 long, extra long panels. They're about 2.8 long, so they don't stand up, they're resting there. So I'm top coating today, so that is one thing I want to show you. Secondly, I am going to be showing you how I spray, maybe just give you a little demo. Third, I want to show you what I kind of use. 99.9% of the time I'm using the Venice paint from Amicus UK, okay, and I'll leave links in the description for codes, etc., etc., so you can get some money off and try it yourself. I used to use the Wix Trade as my undercoat, and just eggshells and Duluxes and that kind of stuff for my top coats. Again, they weren't bad results, but these are a lot more professional. They are so much smoother. Gives me a nicer, flatter finish and more durable. They dry quicker. They don't have that sticky texture for a while, like this does. You feel a bit sticky for a while, even though it's dry. This is fantastic paint. Anyway, I'm using 1K because 2K I can't spray in here. Firstly, I just can't put spray paints that you mix with a hardener into this machine just in case it goes off. I wouldn't be able to clean it on the inside. So I like to use the waterborne primer and top coat from Venice. I've got white in here. It's a white 1K waterborne top coat, ready to go. We've got a load in here. It's full to the top. It's about 20 kilos worth, about 20 litres, maybe 19 or 20 litres. That'll keep me going. I'm going to use at least 10 litres of that, if not more, to top coat all of these components. This has got the old school paint in here because I still get a customer just wanting a little cheap job done. Something I want to do for myself, and I've got a little bit of the silk in there, so that's in there. And these are the 2 sprayers I use. So yeah, they're the machines and the paint that I use. Let's go and grab a couple of components, spray them for you, and just see how the paint lands and how these filters do their job. We didn't have this working for about 6 months, so I got that fan working again now, and we should get a nice even flow. You'll see how the air flows. I do need to have a door open to get the air sucking through and pulling through. Let's close this up so we don't get any overspray within our little hobby zone. Let's put that there, stretch that over, stretch that over like so. I'll tell you what, for the sake of the video and a few easy pieces, let's go for a couple of small pieces. So we got a turntable here. I'm going to leave links for this because it's dirt cheap. For the turntable itself, it was off Amazon. I'll leave a link like I just said. You don't need to buy expensive ones. If I get this caked in paint, which I usually do, it just peels off because it's plastic. This is 7 years old and it gets caked. Let me give you a little demo. It does really get caked, and then you just peel it off. It just peels off really easy, like that, you know, it just peels off like crisps. So the bench is handmade. You don't need to buy anything fancy. It's just a table. You don't need to go and buy anything really. Corex for the walls, floor protection all over, and then some driveway grills. Again, I'm going to be leaving the links for you guys. This is the perfect homemade booth, I believe. Not had problems with it. It sucks out the overspray really, really nicely. Although it doesn't look great at the moment because I did clean it back and there's some bits of paint that didn't come off. It's fine. You know, it will look uniform in a while once, you know, in a few weeks' time, once a bit of the overspray gets on the walls. Even though, does that really matter? Yeah, we're going to be using our fans. Obviously, we've got fans that go straight through to the other side. This is a stud wall, so it just gets vented outside. And we've got our little handmade filters. You've got to watch this video on how I make these because these are a money saver massively with these filters. So the filters and the fan combo, you definitely want these. And also try out an airless spray. Really do want an airless sprayer. I just find they're so fast compared to HVLP compressor sprayers. So slow, and you need to mix up your paint. This you don't. Anyway, I'm going to stop going on. Let's get the fans on. Let's get the sprayer turned on, because that's all I need to do is just turn the sprayer on, as in press the on button. I don't need to mix any paint like I mentioned earlier, and it's all good to go. So we'll do an overview, maybe on one, you'll see from this distance, and then maybe we can get a little bit closer on the next panel. We'll do a couple of panels. Let's go and get everything turned on. All right, so I want to show you the fans. They're turned on quite low. I changed the controller on this fan over there near my plug, so this one has a different speed setting slightly when I turn it on. But let's go over, give you a little listen. That's low. It does bog down very slightly when you put a filter on, and when you are spraying, well, I do spray, shall I say, if this gets caked up, you can peel off 10 mil, and then you can peel off another 10 mil, and that keeps the filter going for a while. This one's brand new. This one's set low, and yeah, we are good to go, but they are very quiet. I think we're good to spray. All right, so one thing that is optional to you when you are spraying is if you get a blockage or you just want to clear some paint, so you're priming your airless sprayer, you just want to squirt a bit through your tip, instead of just squirting it in a waste bucket, you can just get yourself a tin or just squirt it back in the same tin that you want to reuse the paint for. But I've got an old tin here. I'm going to reuse that and just squirt it in there, and then I can just reuse that paint again. So we're just going to get the air. Sorry, we're just going to get the paint coming through. There we go. Comes out really fast. It's got to be about 50 mil of that. 50 mils come through already. So that gun is ready now. Just making sure my pressure is up enough. This paint, you don't spray very high pressure for airless sprayers. When I'm spraying my old paint, I'm spraying at around 2,000 maybe PSI, maybe more, 2.5. These go up to 3,300, by the way. Just think of that as car tire inflation levels are 30 to 40 PSI, okay? That's 30 to 40. And these go up to 3,300. Anyway, yeah, but with this paint, with the Vinyl, it's because it's a thinner, it's silkier, it's smoother, it's less gritty than just off the shelf paint. We lower that to 1200 to 1500. All depends. You squirt your spray, you use it, see how it sprays, see if it sprays tails. It's giving you a nice pattern. You can spray it on something to see how the pattern's coming out before you do start spraying and commit. But then you can just dial it up or dial it down with the pressure. It's just a dial on your machine. Anyway, I'm good to go on that. The next thing I need to do, I need to get my mask on first, is dust my workpiece off. And I've got an airline here that's connected to a silent compressor. Have a look at this compressor. It's great. It's cheap and it's silent. You can use it for your workshop or your spray booth. Maybe not for a compressor sprayer, but for what I'm using it. Where is my mask? There we go, mask on. Always use your mask. Yeah, so I like to dust off my workpiece with a compressor or a brush, either way. I do like to feel it with my hands, because you kind of, if you've got gloves on or something like that, you just don't know if you're leaving a little bit on there with your hands. You know, you're so sensitive to any lumps and bumps or any bits left on or any stuck paint. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Smooth. Well, we're not using the spit bucket or this because we want to reuse that paint. Let's get that on. I'm also going to cover my sprayers. You've seen that I've just had a good old clean up, so I want to look after these. So they're going to get covered up. Nothing needs to be moved or changed with that. Stops the overspray going on my sprayers. So this is another hose for the 595. We're using the 695. I'll give you the demo as an overview and then we'll move over. But it's quite a shame to get this messy, this booth, but it needs to, obviously. This is the first time I'm spraying since I've cleaned it. Okay, so I've just sprayed one piece. Right, let's go ahead and just show you quickly the piece. It's gone on nice and heavy. I like to put it on heavy. With the Venite's paint, just be aware that you need to keep within the right temperature in your spray booth, because this doesn't like cold temperatures whilst it's curing, because that's it's a no-no. So when you are using this paint, just be sure to know what that is. I should find that out for you. But after one spray, there's literally nothing on the ground at the moment. Tiny bit. Tiny bit. There we go. So it is landing on the floor. And we'll see build up probably pretty soon. Let's do a little close up now with a few more. Right, I'm trying to catch any overspray going on the floor, but I don't know if I will, because I'm going to need a lot more spraying to see any build up. Hit the front edge first. I've got so many of these spraying videos out there showing you my technique, and I'm not your average sprayer that does things by the book. You're probably looking at my clothes and going, well, you can't spray like that. I'm dusting it off with an airline in my hand. I've got a spray booth that's made out of plastic and budget fans and filters, but it really does work. Not everyone has got tons of cash to spend on booths and fans and equipment, so people like to do it on a budget. So yeah, there we go. There's another one. It's so simple and quick. That's probably going to be the finish, as in, like, although there's a line, don't worry about that line. It's part of the piece. One coat should be plenty. You can see the build up. Let's show you the build up on the booth bench. So this generally gets most of the build up, because as I spray that front edge, you know, you could just see right there, that gets the majority of the hits. Check out that video I was talking about. You see the big lump of paint that came off was incredible. You could just see a little bit more build up coming there and there. Maybe I'll come back to you after I finish spraying and show you the pattern, because you'll see more so then. Let's do that. I'll tell you what, why don't I quickly just do a shake style door. There we go, we've got a shake style door, 2-piece. It's the wrong way around. That's the back, that's the front. When I do my shake style doors, I like to do the back face first, get that done, just in case the rack decides it wants to mark your door, because it rests there to dry, and sometimes you do get marks here and there, but it's going to be the back face. Anyway, that's that one done. Let's close this paint off while we're getting the airline on. This kind of, when I am doing something big, let's go and get the brush. Right, I like to do it with a brush, see, so it disturbs anything stuck on. There we go, nice and clean. Happy with that. Right, so we're good to spray. I did do a video on how to spray a shaker style door, so I'm not going to kind of like give you in depth there. It's all about getting into the rebates. When you go from one end to the other, I see a lot of people spraying like this and still spraying and just spraying out. I mean, tell me what the point of that is. I like to be like a robot. Go past 50 mil, flip back. Why stop and start also? Stop, start. I like to do it in one sweeping motion. And as I come off, I do minimal off the piece, 50 mil. And then I switch back and I just kind of like square motions like that, keeping the garden as flat to the workpiece as possible, keeping it the correct distance. So where am I looking at the light? You can see, yeah. Okay, go for it. Back edge. You're probably saying you're spraying back to front. That's just my technique. You can go back to front or front to back, whatever you want to do. It's what I do, and it works. Yeah, that's a shaker style door. But because we got that piece of wood on there, we've got to pick it up a bit weirdly, which I'm not really keen on. I like to spray it, pick it up differently. Right, that's going to go up the top without touching the rack. When you are storing your doors, just make sure that your racks are level. Screw these on completely level. Otherwise your door is just going to follow that. Yeah, happy with that. And I like to stack my doors in the same order. So if the bottom of the door is down that way, I keep them all like that. So if there is a variation in your rack, for example, it has a bit of waviness, I don't know why it would, but if it did, it'd all be the same. So when you fit your doors, the contour or the warping, whatever you want, will all be the same and they'll line up. They're not back to front. Whereas if you put the bottom of the door that end on one of them and the bottom of the door that end, they're back to front. And if there was a different warping on the shelves, for example, like I just mentioned, if the racks weren't completely level, they'd be different to each other. So yeah, all right, well, I've got to continue. And I'll come back in a bit. I'll show you the floor, how it is, how it looks a bit more white. And you can gauge it from there. See you in a bit. So about 20 pieces in, including about 6 shaker style doors. That rack there, a few on that rack, a few on this rack. And this is what we've got on the floor so far. So it looks more white throughout. You can see the way it's landing. Nothing's really landing in that corner. See the fans doing their job. And over there, so the filters are looking equal as well. And this is after about 20 pieces, so there's still plenty of life left in the filters. Remember, we can rip them off too. Nothing really on the walls. Right, I do actually need to leave it like that because I've got so much to do over the next few days. I just need to get this video finished. But yeah, overall, just see what it's done. 20 components, give or take. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and whiter and whiter. The walls aren't going to get white for a while. I'm imagining maybe 6 months or so. But yeah, you can just see that the fans have been doing their job to a certain degree. And you're always going to get overspray landing on the floor, especially when you use an airless sprayer because it comes out so heavy compared to a compressor sprayer. It atomizes it a lot more finer than a HELP. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Leave a comment, blah, blah, blah. Let me know what you think. Have a great Friday. I'll see you next Friday. Take it easy. Ciao for now.